Anyone who is just logging on, again, it is Brittany with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we're going to be going over SmartPlans. These are the automated drip campaigns that are available through the Command platform, where you can essentially add your clients to these plans, and they will automatically send out emails, send out text messages, start tasks. They take care of everything for you. So it's kind of something that you guys are able to set up and never look back. It takes care of everything else for you guys. So we're going to go over how to set those up, where to locate the existing smart plans that you guys have available to you, how to add clients to them, how to make edits to the plans itself, and then what will happen once a client is actually added to that plan. So we'll be covering all of that today. Again, everything that we are doing is going to be through the command portal, which is agent.kw.com. And then I'm also logging in using Firefox. You guys can use whatever browser you have available to you. I just tend to use Firefox. I think it works best for a lot of the things that I navigate through Command. I'm also using a private window. That's why I have that little mask in the top right-hand corner. If you are using another browser, I still recommend possibly sticking with a private window, as it will just kind of give you, I feel like it gives you better navigation. Go ahead and sign into Command. And it does usually take a second to load. Don't panic. Once you guys are in the Command platform, the first thing we're going to check is to make sure that your smart plans are essentially set up for success. We're going to make sure that Command Mail is live. I'm going to go over Twilio, and then we're going to take a look at our marketing profile to make sure that is all set as well, as your marketing profile is actually what is going to brand your emails that are sent out through smart plans. So we want to make sure that everything is kind of, all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. So we're going to cover all of that. In order to get into the back end of this system, we're going to go ahead and click on our name in the top right-hand corner. And then we're going to go ahead and select settings. So our name and then settings. And again, this usually takes a second to load, so don't panic. Once you guys are in the back end, it's going to drop you right where we need to be. These are the integrations and applications that are available through Command. So these are all of the options that you guys have to integrate to your Command platform. If you haven't come in here before and kind of dabbled around to see what's available, I definitely recommend coming back in here when you have a second and taking a look. But in order to make sure that everything is set up for your smart plans, we are actually going to scroll down all the way to the bottom. And we're going to be working underneath the email services option. Once we scroll all the way down, you're going to notice that we have a couple of options. We have Command Mail and we have MailChimp. One of the biggest questions that we get in regard to integrations and also in regards to just MailChimp as a whole, MailChimp at this time will only communicate with email campaigns. Those are one and done emails that you send through Command. When it comes to smart plans, which what we'll be covering today, those are kind of repetitive emails. It's something that you can drop contacts into as you accrue them, as you obtain leads, you can add them to a smart plan. And it's more of an automated email. An email is going to go out, it may create a task, it may text them, then another email may go out, then a week goes by and another text message goes out. You're able to kind of set up that timeline for your clients as you're adding them to these smart plans. For smart plans, only Command Mail can be used. MailChimp will not be compatible with smart plans. So that's something I just want to make note. If you are looking to utilize MailChimp, you certainly can, but it will only be for email campaigns, which are those one and done emails you're sending through Command. So to make sure that Command Mail is ready to go, we're going to go ahead and click on the Manage button on the right-hand side. And then all we want to do is we want to make sure that our name is spelt the way we want it to be. If you guys go by a nickname, maybe you're a spouse team, or maybe you're sending emails, as a team, you're sharing it with somebody, whatever it may be, this is what the sender name is going to show up as. So we want to make sure this is correct. This is showing up the way you want it to aesthetically. For the reply to email, if this email is not correct, you can click on the drop-down list and either add a custom email, or you can select one from this list. From what we have seen, if this email is not correct, your best option is to click add a custom email, type in the email that you're looking to use for your SmartPlans or for command mail, click on add email, and that will launch it for you. Sometimes when you go ahead and select it from the drop-down list, it doesn't trigger properly and it may not update efficiently. So that's just kind of the best workaround. So if you are looking to kind of lock that email in, click on add custom email and you can just type in whatever email you want that reply email to be. When it comes to command mail, one of the big questions that we also get, how is this going to show up for your clients? When you're sending an email and you're going through command mail, it's going to show up as agent mailer, then your KW UID, which is specific to you as an agent. And then it's going to be something along the lines, I think it's at mailerkw.com, but I'll have to double check that for you. I have a screenshot for you guys in a minute. But in regards to those, it does come up from an independent email. However, when your client replies to those emails that are coming out from command mail, it's going to go to whatever email you guys have here. That's why you want to make sure this is spelled correctly. This is an inbox that you guys check, because that's where all of your replies to these emails are going to go. Once you guys have made sure that both of those are good, make sure that your save changes is not clickable. If it's clickable, you want to make sure that you click that in order to lock those changes in. Last but not least, before moving on to Twilio, I just want to go over the monthly account usage, which is right at the bottom. This is kind of just something to keep in mind that it's here so you can track the usage that you guys are doing with command mail. Again, if you guys are on a team, maybe you're sharing an account with a spouse, maybe you're just sending out a ton of emails, you have a larger database, this is something to keep an eye on. Keller Williams International gives you guys 5,000 emails a month through command mail. This means emails that are going out through command mail, you have 5,000. If you're sending out 3,000 independent emails through email campaigns, that leaves you 2,000 left over for SmartPlans or additional email campaigns. So both email campaigns and SmartPlans will feed through command mail unless you tell it otherwise, essentially unless you're using MailChimp. So this is, again, just something to keep in mind. If you see your numbers dropping significantly and you're running everything through command mail, you can also manage your subscription and purchase additional ones. So you're not capped at the 5,000. You would just need to purchase an additional package in order to get those additional emails. So that is also an option. So if you guys do just happen to have a large database or you're functioning as a team, purchasing additional options is definitely available right through your managed subscription. This will all be done through the marketplace, which is fantastic. So it's all internal through command. Once you guys confirm that your save changes is kind of grayed out and you're hovering over it and you see this red, kind of like your do not click button. If you guys are seeing that, that means everything's locked in and you're good to go. And we can go ahead and X out of this particular screen. The next section I just want to cover briefly is going to be Twilio. If you have not signed up for Twilio yet, don't panic. You guys can do this at any point in time. It is a paid service. So it's actually a third-party platform that kind of piggybacks through command that allows you to send text messages right through the command platform. At this time, Twilio is the only platform that is compatible with command, and it is the only platform that is actually going to allow you to text through the command portal. That being said, it allows you to do bulk text messaging, which is pretty cool. If you guys, again, have a larger database, maybe you're holding some open houses, maybe you have some functions that you're doing coming up, or you have a just listed, just closed, anything along those lines, this allows you to bulk text your clients, whether you want to do it based on tag directly from your database, or better yet, you want to do it through SmartPlans. You essentially can do this all through command. This is something that you would need to purchase if you are looking to use the texting portion of SmartPlans. If you are not looking to purchase this at this time, again, don't panic. All that will happen is if you end up utilizing a SmartPlan that has text messages included, the SmartPlan will automatically skip that step. So if you have a smart plan that's maybe sending out an email, then 5 days later, a text message, then 5 days later, a task, all it's going to do is send out that email. 5 days later, it's going to do nothing. 5 days later, it's going to set up a task. So it will just kind of skip that particular item. So don't panic. You can still use SmartPlans, even if you don't have Twilio set up. As far as the pricing of Twilio, it is a credit system. I don't have the pricing off the top of my head. I apologize. A question just came in through the chat. But if you do click on subscribe in Marketplace, it will show you all of the packages that they have available. I did not mean to click that, but I'll pull it up for you guys. So as far as the packages go, it will give you kind of like a breakdown. It is based on a credit system, so you do want to keep an eye on that as well, as the credit system, the credits are something that you will want to make sure you're tracking. But you'll see right here, $3.16 a month, $5.32 a month, or $11.80 a month. And this will give you 1,500 credits, 300 credits, or 600 credits. And then it also breaks down what the actual credits will get you. So you can kind of go through this, take a look, see if it's something that will fit into your marketing plan and what you're trying to accomplish with your clients. But it is something that you would go through, buy now, enter your credit card. It allows you to select your package, and then you go from there. Credits do roll over, which is also pretty cool, something to keep in mind, which it does also go in towards the bottom. Credit management, it goes over how they kind of roll over into the next month. But yeah, this breaks everything down for you. So I do recommend just taking a look at this when you have a chance, especially if it's something that you think will fit into your marketing plan as a real estate agent. Go ahead and X out of that and go back to Command. As far as those two platforms, make sure that Command Mail is set up. Again, Twilio, you guys can set up at any point in time. If you guys do have questions upon that platform, just let us know, and we're always happy to take a look at your account. However, you as the agent will need to actually set the account up yourself, where a credit card number is required. Plus, where there's a package involved, we just want to make sure that you guys are doing it. That way you know exactly what you're getting. The next section I want to go over is going to be the marketing profile, just to make sure that everything is set up for you guys. In order to access your marketing profile, we're going to go ahead and click on Connect Settings on the left-hand side. And then we'll go ahead and select Marketing Profile. For your marketing profile, there have been a couple of minor changes to the marketing profile itself. So we're going to go over those today as well, just to make sure, again, all your I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and everything is good to go on your marketing front. For the marketing profile specifically, this is a very big platform in the sense that it actually brands everything that you guys are doing through Command. So whether you guys are sending out a smart plan or an email campaign, your mobile app, your website, all of these items are going to pull your marketing from your marketing profile. This also brands your agent page. So if somebody comes across your office's website or your profile on kw.com, this is where all of that information is going to pull from. So think of this as kind of your ground zero for marketing within Keller Williams. So this is a very important page. The first thing you guys are likely seeing is your headshot. If you don't yet have a headshot, again, completely fine. Chances are it's the KW logo. As you obtain a headshot, or if you have a picture that you want to put in there as a placeholder for now, you do want to make sure that you crop it to be a perfect square before adding it. If it's added as any other shape than a square, you're going to notice it looks a little bit wonky. It usually distorts it. It will squish it or stretch it. So you do want to make sure you crop that before adding it. If you guys are having trouble with that, just let us know. We can always take a look. You also have a section for a team logo. When it comes to the team logo, if you do not have a team logo, what do you put there? I recommend doing either the Realtor logo or a KW logo. I'll be honest, you guys are going to have a KW logo a little bit further down when we get to your brokerage information. So generally the Realtor logo is a good bet. Or if you have any sort of logo that you're looking to use, some people have used like their initials, anything along those lines you can get away with. But just make sure that you're within compliance with your office if you're doing something specific outside of the Realtor logo. Again, just make sure that it's within compliance before you guys add it to all of your marketing. But team logo, by leaving this blank, when it comes to sending out email campaigns and or smart plans, it's going to show an error message where the team logo is supposed to pull on that footer. So every time you guys send out an email whether it's through campaigns or through SmartPlans, it pulls a footer that acts as your email signature. So most of you probably have an email signature on your Gmail account, your Yahoo account, AOL, whatever it may be. The system automatically creates kind of like an email signature from this section. The team logo is a part of that email signature. So if you don't have a team logo, it says image not available. So if you guys do not have something added there now, again, I just recommend putting something in there just to avoid that from populating. Scrolling down a smidge more, we have our details. Pretty straightforward. This is just our information. For your name, make sure that you're within compliance. Really, for anything you guys are adding in here, make sure you're within compliance. If you guys are with a state or a board that may be a little bit more strict, maybe you need to have very specific information, just make sure that that's how everything is set up. Because again, this is going to syndicate out everywhere for you. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a one-stop shop, so you guys only have to make sure this is updated. However, if something is off, it is going to go everywhere. So as far as your name, make sure that's within compliance. You also have your license number, your team name, professional job title. Slogan is a newer option. It's also required. You'll see the red asterisk. If you don't currently have a slogan, you can either repeat your team name, you can add for all of your real estate needs, or if you have a customized slogan that you're looking to use, you can type that in, but it is something that is required in order for your marketing profile to trigger and essentially syndicate out. So you do want to make sure something is in that box. We also have designations and credentials. If you guys have acquired additional designations, this is a great spot to add those in. We also have our military affiliations. This has been around for a little bit, but if you haven't been in your marketing profile, you guys can come in here, select the military affiliation for you. And then once you select whichever one applies, the branches will actually populate on the right. And then you can select which branch of the military you are associated with. If you haven't done that and you are associated with the military, you can plug that in. If it does not apply to you, you would leave it blank just like this, and it will not show up on any of your marketing. We also have our bio. Pretty straightforward. This is just your bio that you guys have on any other marketing materials that you may have created. You guys can come in here and tweak this however often you'd like as well. This will syndicate out to, again, your agent profile and your mobile app. However, once your website is set up, your website will need to be manually updated. So if you are making tweaks to this and you want it to go to your website, make sure that that is getting done through your About Me page. It does need to be manually adjusted. Underneath that, we have our contact information. Again, pretty straightforward. We have our phone number starting with mobile number and then office number. Fax is not required, but if you have something you want on file, you can always plug that in. As far as punctuation goes with phone numbers, you'll notice it's not added. You can certainly add in dashes, periods, parentheses, whatever you'd like for aesthetics. However, most of your marketing is automatically going to plug in the dashes for you, so you don't have to worry about it. By not putting formatting, we've also noticed that they tend to be more friendly when it comes to clickability. So if you are planning on using, SmartPlans, you're planning on having obviously your website. If someone comes across it, it tends to make it clickable a little bit easier on mobile devices, which is definitely helpful, which is why generally you don't have to add punctuation, but you can. It's completely up to you guys. In regards to phone numbers, make sure if your brokerage requires the office number to be on marketing, make sure you guys are plugging that in as well for compliance. Then we have our email and website. For email, this is going to be whatever email you guys are using on all of your marketing. This is going to be the email that you guys correspond with your clients through. So make sure that is spelt correctly and it's an inbox that you check frequently. For your website, there's a couple of things I want to go over for this, especially if you're using the command provided website that ends in .kw.com. If you're using the command provided website that ends in .kw.com, you want to make sure that it starts with HTTPS : // Do not have www. So if you have it set up as either www. And then your website, or if you're missing the HTTPS and still have www, you want to make sure that you are removing that. And then you can type in HTTPS : // that is going to make your website clickable from all of your marketing materials, which is just going to make it a little bit easier for your clients to get access to your website. Instead of having to copy and paste it in a separate browser, they'll be able to click right on that link. If you haven't noticed already, if you go to your website with www at the beginning of the URL, it does pull up a privacy error. This is a known issue with the KW provided website ending in .kw.com. If you're using a custom URL, that may not apply. It actually is based on the domain. But if your URL ends in that .kw.com, just make sure you remove the www and you guys will be golden. If you are using a provided domain that maybe you purchased, maybe you got one through GoDaddy, Namecheap, any of those platforms, if you're trying to link that up to your command website, let us know. We can always take a look at it and make sure it's on your marketing materials properly, as how that will show up is 100% based on the package that you have with that domain provider. So we can always take a look and just make sure it's correct on all of your marketing for you. Underneath that, we have our brokerage information. This is where that other KW logo I was talking about previously, that's where it will show up. You'll also notice that this looks very wonky. It corrects itself on all of your marketing, so don't panic. This is the same for the team logo. Both the Market Center brokerage logo and the team logo look very wonky on this section, but it will correct itself. It's only the headshot that needs to be cropped to be a square. For our Market Center information, just make sure this looks correct. If you guys are associated with a business center, make sure that's what's showing up. If you're with a mega team or a mega office, anything along those lines, make sure that this information makes sense. The address is your office. The DBA name is the full DBA name. You have the city, state, zip. Make sure all of that is populating for you. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our compliance information. For compliance, again, this is pretty straightforward. We have options for legal footer text, legal footer links, and legal footer images. In regards to this section, if you don't have provided legal footer text, which we don't really have any offices that have anything that has to go here, you can essentially plug in information that you think may need to be added. I've seen some stipulations in regards to COVID, some changes for open houses, things like that. You guys can type in right here. And again, it's going to go everywhere, which is beautiful. So in regards to these compliance options, anything you guys add here, it's automatically going to populate on all of your marketing. Again, this is kind of your one-stop shop. Legal footer links. If you guys are licensed in the state of Texas or New York, you guys should have a couple of big links here. Texas, you guys have your IABS and CPN that need to be added. New York, you guys have your fair housing and SOP links that need to be added. If you're not seeing those, shoot us an email and we can always make sure that that is adjusted for you, because again, that is something for compliance. So we want to make sure that that is done for you correctly. Legal footer images, you guys can add any legal footer images that you need to add for compliance. Again, nothing really on hold for us. As far as Maine, I know you guys require the IDX. There's an IDX logo you have to have, and equal housing has to be added here. But if you guys are licensed in any other state, I haven't seen required logos, but I have seen agents manipulate this to use for their designations they've acquired. Some agents have put like the bold logo or any additional designations that they've maybe obtained over the years. Feel free to plug those in. That's actually a great workaround for that. Keep in mind, they do show up very tiny. They're only 128 by 48 pixels, but you guys can always add those in here as well. Coming down to social media, we have our social media platforms. This is going to allow your social media to show up on all of your marketing, which is pretty cool. However, that being said, this is going to allow your social media to show up on all of your marketing. So my personal recommendation is to make sure that they are business pages. As long as they're real estate geared and you are promoting real estate on those pages, by all means, you guys can plug them in. Making sure it's a business page will just take it one step further. Just to kind of make sure that you are keeping that business related. Again, this is going to show up on your website. It allows links for pretty much everything that you guys are submitting through the command platform. So just making sure that it is real estate geared is just going to cover your bases on that marketing standpoint. When it comes to YouTube and LinkedIn, for YouTube, as long as it's real estate based, if you guys have a channel or maybe an open house walkthrough or a welcome video, anything along those lines, you can plug that URL in. For LinkedIn, anything you guys create through LinkedIn is going to be business related, so don't panic. If you guys have a LinkedIn profile, you can plug that in right here. For Google Analytics, if you guys already have this set up, you probably recently got an email letting you know that their standards are changing as of, I want to say it's June of 2023, but it might be July. They're kind of changing how the platform interacts with third-party platforms. That being said, if you haven't set Google Analytics up yet, this is something that you can do. The process, however, has changed, so it will not be able to function until the full process has been reflected through the command platform. So that's just something to keep in mind. Google Analytics will track the traffic of your website, which is pretty neat. It's essentially just kind of keeping an eye of who's going on your website, what they're clicking on, and it gives you feedback for it. It is a fantastic tool, but again, until command kind of updates itself based on Google's new updates, it will unfortunately not pull anything as of right now. So if you guys currently have it set up and it's being a little bit wonky, just give it some time to catch up. But once KWRI has updated command to match those new stipulations, you guys will be good to go. If you made any changes at all, added, removed, tweaked, anything, make sure you're clicking save all the way down at the bottom. And then you'll just get this little pop-up that just says your marketing profile has been successfully saved. I'll go ahead and X out of that. Last but not least, before diving into SmartPlans, top right-hand corner of your marketing profile, make sure that is a green dot. If you're seeing a gray dot, just click it. A compliance pop-up will show up, just letting you know that everything you guys filled out does need to be within compliance, because again, it will be live once this is green. And then once you guys acknowledge that, it will populate as a green bubble. Once you guys see the green bubble, it means all of the information you just took the time to put together is being shared with all of the items that you're submitting through command. This includes your mobile app, your website, and all of those items we discussed earlier. If this was not done previously, this means that your mobile app generally takes about 72 hours to update. So if you just toggled this on and you go to mess around with the mobile app at any point within the next 72 hours, any updates you guys had here will not start syndicating out until then. This also means any update that you make in the future, 72 hours is always going to be the turnaround. So just kind of a blanket notice, if you're not seeing something update, whether it's on your agent profile or your mobile app or kw.com, your agent profile, anything along those lines, it is a full 72-hour turnaround. It is a 2 overnight feed in order for that to update. The only thing that really updates in real time is your website and then email signature footers on your emails that are going out. Now we are going to go ahead and dive into SmartPlans. If you guys ever second guess which icon is which, the white KW and the red box on the top left-hand corner will label all of these for you. Sometimes a little bit easier just in case, because they do all start to look the same. But we're going to go ahead and click on the fourth one down for SmartPlans. And again, if it takes a second, don't panic. They've been doing some updates on command, so it does take a moment for everything to load. I'll just give it a second. Let's try doing open a new page. Sometimes that speeds it up. There we go. Okay, now I have 2 of them open, but that's fine. So once you guys get to this page, your screen may look a little bit different than mine. Again, don't worry. I have a couple of SmartPlans that are already live. So if your screen does look a little bit different, maybe you don't have SmartPlans added yet, anything along those lines, don't panic. One thing I do want to mention, which will not apply to everyone, but if you are on a team, make sure you are on your personal profile for today, just so you have full access. So if you're on a team, just swap over to your personal page. Again, this is just going to make sure you have full access to actually go through everything. If you're on a team and you're looking to create SmartPlans under the team, the same process that we go through today will apply to the team profile. However, this is based on your permissions. So you may not have fully enabled permissions under the team, meaning that some of the stuff that we covered today, you may be blocked from. So again, if you're on a team, swap to the personal page just for right now so we can go through everything, and then you can go back in and apply everything to the team itself later, and make sure that you're permissions kind of allow you to do that. If you're not a part of a team, then you're good to go. You're already on the right profile. Once we get into this section, this is where all of your smart plans are going to be held. This means smart plans that you've previously pulled from the library, which we'll jump into in a second. But as long as you're on this My Smart Plans tab, these are smart plans that are essentially ready to be used. That being said, I always 100% of the time, anytime you're dabbling with smart plans, proofread them. Go into them, double check them, add yourself to them first, kind of let your personal email, whether you create kind of like a dummy contact or you have a significant other, a friend, a family member in your database, that you can set them up on one of these smart plans so they can take a look at it, make sure it's being proofread, make sure the images are showing up the way you want them to. If you guys are going into completely customized items and you're embedding videos or you're adding things like that, setting yourself up on a smart plan before you start adding clients is never going to be a bad idea, because it's going to allow you to see exactly what they are going to be getting before you start bulk adding 500 contacts to a smart plan. Just make sure that you know exactly what you're sending out. When it comes to smart plans itself, these are just the smart plans that you already have added to your system. So this means that you have access to edit them, you have access to add contacts to them, you also have access to copy, publish to library / delete. When it comes to actually copying them, publishing to library, or deleting them, if you do delete a smart plan and people are on it, it will stop them. It will essentially force you to remove them before you can delete it. This is essentially to avoid having them kind of stuck in limbo and continuously getting that smart plan. So if you guys are going to be deleting anything, make sure that you are manually removing contacts that you already have added to smart plans, which we'll go over that process as well. Publish to library, what this means is it's a custom smart plan that either you created or something that maybe you pulled from the library, gutted, made it your own. You can actually go back and publish it back to the library. Publishing to the library gives it access to everybody under the KW umbrella. This means market center staff, agents in your office, agents throughout the United States and parts of Canada will all have access to this smart plan, which is pretty cool. It is also a way for teams to share smart plans, but keep in mind, it also means that everyone else will have access. This is not something that will allow you to kind of manipulate who has access to it. When you publish to the library, it goes to everyone who has access to the library, which is everyone with the MyKW/command login. When it comes to copying them, this will also be something that you'll see on custom smart plans / smart plans that you pull from the library that were custom smart plans. One thing I will mention is if the smart plan is provided by Keller Williams International, which again, we'll cover in 1 second as well. I'm going to show you what they look like. If a smart plan is provided by Keller Williams International directly, there are only a couple of plans that they offer. You cannot copy them. You cannot edit them. They are very limited when it comes to editability, because think of them as kind of like starter smart plans. They're a way for agents who are maybe less comfortable with going in and completely recustomizing something. They're already set up and ready to go, which is fantastic for you guys because they take minimal effort to get up and running. That being said, they do not allow you to edit them because of that. It kind of locks in what they have already set up for you. It avoids any miscommunications or errors. So when it comes to those plans, for example, our promote app, you'll notice that copy is grayed out. So it's not even allowing me to make a duplicate copy. When you go to publish library, if it's already provided by Keller Williams International, it will generally give you an error, just kind of a mental note. I would not click on publish to library if the plan was originally provided by KWRI. You can, however, still delete them. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now that we are on this page, you guys may already have a couple of smart plans that maybe you added previously. I'm going to go ahead and just click on library just to kind of break down what this looks like, how you guys can locate some plans, and just kind of the best navigation for this platform, because this is a ton of information under the library tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Once this section loads, possibly my favorite part of this entire section is going to be our search option. So you'll notice that you guys do have a search option right at the top of the page, and this can be used to actually locate smart plans that fill a specific need for you as an agent. So maybe you want something for like Facebook follow-up. Maybe you want something for open house follow-up. Anything along those lines, you can actually type that into the search section here, and it's going to allow you to locate those specific plans. So if I have something, I'll just do open house just to show you guys what that looks like. This pulls up 157 plans that essentially have open house in the title. I can also drop down and do author name or description. Maybe I want something in the description about an open house. Still pulls up 154. And it essentially just pulls up all of these plans that I have access to use. This is really cool. These are plans that are provided to you by your peers, by other market centers, by market center staff, by PC coaches across the United States and Canada. This is going to give you guys access to a ton of information. So this is also a way for you guys to kind of build on what somebody else may have started rather than reinventing the wheel. You guys will be able to come in here. You can essentially select a smart plan that you want to use. Then you can go back and make edits to it once it's under the My Smart Plans. So this is a great tool just to kind of understand that it is here. And before you go ahead and kind of completely customize your own smart plan, definitely take a look at what is already available for you. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of that. But if you guys are unsure what you're looking for, because you don't know what you don't know. So if you guys haven't really come in here yet, you don't really have a smart plan in mind, you can also just kind of poke around. The first section of your smart plan library are your featured. These are essentially 8 smart plans. They're usually relatively either they're newer smart plans, or there's something that maybe there's just been like a jolt in regards to how many people have been using them recently. These are just the featured ones for this particular time frame. These tend to rotate out, so they will change. So if there is one that you are kind of on the edge about whether or not you want to use it, add it to My Smart Plans, because adding additional smart plans to My Smart Plans doesn't mean your contacts are going to automatically get added. You have to do that manually. But if there's a plan that you like, something that may apply to you down the road, by adding it, it's essentially going to put a copy of it under My Smart Plans, so you don't have to go and locate it later. So it's essentially just giving you a copy of it. Scrolling down a smidge more, these are the ones provided by Keller Williams International. There are 10 in total. And again, these are the plans that are going to have minimal editability, and you're also not going to be able to make copies of them. So don't panic. The only reason you can't make copies to them is because they're not editable. So you would essentially be making copies of the exact same smart plan, which would be redundant under your My Smart Plans tab. So it's not, they're doing it so essentially you don't have multiple smart plans that are accomplishing the same thing. It's just making it a little bit easier and more organized for you guys. In regards to the smart plans, one of the big ones that I always like to go over is the biweekly neighborhood nurture. Biweekly neighborhood nurture is going to allow you guys to add contacts to the smart plan, make sure that the contact has some neighborhoods on their contact profile, and you can actually go ahead and add them to the smart plan, and it's going to send out emails based on the neighborhoods they have on file. So in other words, if they have 5 neighborhoods on file, it's going to send them an email with 5 different neighborhoods. It's going to give them the stats of those neighborhoods. It's going to give them the active listings in those neighborhoods, what the median sale price is. It gives them all of that access, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and launch the monthly smart plan today with you guys, just so I can show you guys what that will look like on live contacts as well, because I already have bi-weekly one added. If you guys are more interested in the bi-weekly, you can always add the smart plan here as well. We also have the 8x8. In regards to smart plans, if you want to take a look at what steps the smart plan is going to provide, you can always click on view steps, which is just going to give you an outline of that plan itself. So this is letting you know, okay, this smart plan, it's an automated drip campaign. It's going to start by sending a text message. As I hover over it, you're noticing that the text message, a preview pops up. You guys can see exactly what will go out to your clients. Again, text messages will require Twilio in order to go out. Then there's a 7-day delay, and then it's a touch task. It's going to kind of allow you to send them a personalized email. Let's go grab coffee, something along those lines. 7 days later, it's prompting you to call them. 7 days later, it's sending another text message. 7 days later, it's adding them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. That's the plan we're going to be adding today. And then we have a 7-day delay, phone call contact, 7-day delay, another text message, 7-day delay, touch task. So this is essentially, this is the 8x8. And it's just a way for you to kind of start getting that touch out to your clients. It's a way for you to nurture your database without physically sitting there manually texting them, physically writing out emails. It's going to allow you to do that quick touch, just kind of a reminder. I'm here to help you with your real estate needs. Let me know if you have any questions. Do you have any like information that I can provide to you? Do you need guidance on listing or selling, or listing or buying? Anything along those lines, you can kind of manipulate these text messages to fit what you're looking to accomplish. So this is one of those smart plans that you do have basic editability in that sense. But if this is something that may work for you, again, you would click on add smart plan, and that's going to add it to your plans. So I'm going to go ahead for the 8x8 and add this in just to show you guys how to make edits to it in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add smart plan. And then by default, it will add my monthly nurture as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on download, because the my monthly nurture is a part of the 8x8. So in other words, because the smart plan is going to allow you to automatically have your contacts added to this plan, it's requiring you to also add this to your smart plans. So if I click on download, it looks like it's freezing on me. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. I'll do it through the monthly one. If you guys are having the same trouble, we're going to manually add the monthly one, and then we'll come right back to this one and do it again. We also have our quarterly call plan. Exactly that. It allows you guys to bulk add contacts, and essentially it will prompt you to call them quarterly. You guys can stagger these as well, which is pretty cool. So if you guys do want to set up a quarterly small call plan, that is a great route to make sure that those tasks are live. We also have the midterm nurture. If you guys are looking to set that up, again, you can always take a look at the steps before adding it just to make sure. We have our long-term nurture. Again, take a look at the steps just to make sure you have what's going out. We have a birthday and home anniversary is going to be on the last page. This is something to keep in mind. It just added it. It's just delayed. If you guys are interested in setting up the birthday or the home anniversary smart plans, these are actually date triggered, which is really cool. If you have your contacts in your database and you have a birthday on file, or you have a home anniversary on file, you guys can utilize the KWRI provided smart plans for the birthday and home anniversary, and it's going to trigger based on that date in their contact profile. These are the only 2 smart plans provided as of right now that are date triggered, which is pretty cool. So again, if you guys have contacts with birth dates or home anniversaries on file, I definitely recommend taking a look at these. That way you can go ahead and get your clients added to them. We also have the monthly neighborhood nurture. This is the one that I'm going to go ahead and add just to show you guys how to get your contacts added to this one today. So I'm going to go ahead and click add smart plan. And then once this pops up, you'll go ahead and click download. When I did it earlier, it did download for me. It was just very, very delayed. If you guys are seeing it grayed out, all that means is this is already in your My Smart Plans tab. So you guys don't have to re-add it. If this is clickable and you're not getting that red circle, you can click it and it will add it to My Smart Plan. So it's waiting for you right when we're done going through these. Go ahead and out of that. Next one is open house follow-up. This one you can make minor tweaks to. So if this is something that you are interested in and you just want to change some of the verbiage, you do have access to that one as well. And then last but not least, we have that home anniversary one that I just mentioned, very parallel to that birthday smart plan. It's going to allow you to trigger that based on the anniversary date on the contact profile. Then we have promote my app. This is a fantastic starter smart plan as well. It's going to allow you to kind of dump your contacts onto this smart plan. It's going to send them an email that goes over why they should download your app. And then it's going to send them 2 follow-up text messages, also prompting them to download your app or use the app if they've already downloaded it. That being said, your app is fantastic. It essentially tracks all of the things that they are looking at once they've created that consumer login. So it's a great way to not only acquire additional lead information, but to kind of familiarize yourself with what your client may be looking for. It's going to allow them to set up their own saved searches. You can see the listings that they're viewing. So it kind of gives you that big brother access. So kind of starting with a smart plan like this, or the monthly neighborhood or biweekly neighborhood, Those are definitely my recommendations when you're first starting to get your feet wet with SmartPlans overall. I'm going to go back to our 8x8, which is on the first page. Click the left arrow until you cannot click it anymore. And it should be our second SmartPlan. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on Add SmartPlan. And now we should see success. And now I can go ahead and download this one because my monthly neighborhood nurture is now downloaded. Just going to download that so I can show you guys how to make some edits to that SmartPlan, just in case you guys want to customize anything. The edits for this SmartPlan will be the exact same for any other customized SmartPlan. So if you guys do scroll down and you decide to pull maybe a top rated, maybe you're looking at Halloween, fall, Thanksgiving, anything along those lines, the editing process will be the exact same across the board, which is fantastic. Makes things a little bit less confusing. But you guys do have access to the top rated. You'll notice there's 1,362 SmartPlans. That is a lot of SmartPlans. So if you guys ever want to navigate those a little bit more specifically, keep in mind, that's where that search bar comes in. You also have what's new. These are all the brand new SmartPlans that have been launched. You'll notice that most of them have been published as early as today. So if you guys are looking for something specific, maybe someone in your office just launched a SmartPlan and that's all they told you, you can always come in here and try locating it that way. Keep in mind, you can also locate by the author name. So if you have their name, you can pull it up that way as well. Now that we've added those SmartPlans to My SmartPlans, I'm going to go ahead and click back on the My SmartPlans section. And I'm going to start by showing you some quick edits on the 8x8 SmartPlan that I added in here, just to kind of give you guys a base to show you what that's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and locate the 8x8 SmartPlan, and it's right at the top of my page, 8x8 Contact Engagement. And I'm going to go ahead all the way over to the right. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that pencil icon. That's where I'm going to be able to make edits to this SmartPlan. So I'm going to make sure I stay on the same line as the SmartPlan and then go ahead and click on the pencil. And it looks like SmartPlans might be having a little bit of a problem right now. There we go. It's just taking a second. If you guys are seeing the same thing, don't panic. Just give it a minute to load. I can see the gears working on the top left-hand corner. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. So first things first, any SmartPlan you guys are setting up, you do have access to add a trigger event. This is also a tip video that is in the notes. So if you guys are watching the recording, I'll hyperlink the notes underneath this class and you guys will have access to it. But there is a way to add a trigger event. This is based on tagging. This is really cool. This is possibly one of my favorite things in regards to SmartPlans because it makes your lives so much easier when it comes to adding people. Trigger events are going to allow you to set a tag to automatically add anyone added to that tag to the SmartPlan. So if you have, say, open house 123 Main Street as a tag, these are all clients that you acquired from an open house for 123 Main Street. You can come in here, set a trigger event, come in here. You would essentially leave the first two as is. You'll notice they're not editable, but then I can come in here and select tag and type in whatever that tag is. I'm going to use test contact, but I can go ahead and just select that tag, choose my trigger, and it's letting me know that this is only going to work for contacts that are newly added to that tag. So if I have contacts that are already tagged as test contact, they would need to be manually added to this SmartPlan, which is very, very simple. We can do it through our contacts, which I'm going to show you guys how. But if you are adding new people, so say I do an import tomorrow and I have 9 contacts on that import that are tagged as test contact, or maybe I'm manually tagging my contacts, going through my database, familiarizing myself with who's in there, and I'm manually tagging them as test contact. As that is done, they are automatically going to be added to my 8x8 SmartPlan by confirming this trigger. So now that I have that trigger added, once I click on save, going forward, as I add that tag to contacts, they're automatically going to get added to this smart plan. That's really cool. That's going to save you a little bit of time in regards to maybe organizing it a little bit further. As long as you guys are utilizing tags on your database, the system will take care of the rest for you. So that's pretty neat. When it comes to the smart plan itself, if you guys are seeing the scary red message, all this means is you don't have Twilio set up yet. It's just giving you a heads up that this step will essentially be skipped. If this is something that you decide you want to set up, make sure that you are doing it before you start running smart plans with texting, because it does get a little bit wonky if you have contacts that are already on a plan that have gone past that step. Then you add Twilio. My recommendation, make sure that you're doing it before you start utilizing smart plans if you're intending to. If you decide down the line to do it, you can always remove people from a smart plan and then re-add them to make sure that they do get that initial text. You can update all of the information that's going out via text right from this little text box. You'll notice that they have the little brackets. What this means is it's going to pull your information on file. This pulls from your marketing profile. So first name and last name of your contact would pull from the contact profile that you're sending it to. Agent first name, last name is going to pull from your marketing profile, and your team name is also going to pull from your marketing profile. If you don't have a team name on your marketing profile, make sure you're deleting that and just do period. So essentially remove the team name and just do this is so-and-so period. Otherwise, it's going to say this is team name from unspecified information / if you have something that's just a space filler there, if you just have like agent, it's going to say this is Lori Godfrey with agent, which just does not sound proper, does not sound correct. So if you guys are kind of going through this, make sure that it looks correct before you start adding people. Again, this is kind of like my golden rule with smart plans. Send it to yourself before you add anybody else to it. Make sure that you have gone through the entire smart plan as a consumer before you start adding actual consumers to those plans. If you guys are making edits, you'll want to make sure that you click on your checkbox, bottom right. You guys also have access to manipulate the day delay. If you guys want to lower or raise that, you can. You also have access to update the tasks. Tasks on smart plans are not going to show up under tasks until the actual task has happened. Meaning, if you add someone to this smart plan, you'll notice the first thing that's going to happen is that text message goes out. Then it's a 7-day or well now 8-day delay. Then that task becomes live. That means that on the 9th day, this task will be live and it will show up under tasks. So if I add John Smith to this today and then click on tasks, assuming I'm going to see this, I will not until 9 days later. If you guys ever have questions on that, just let us know. I hope that makes sense. But it essentially will not be an active task until it has actually passed on the smart plan. Scrolling down a little bit more, you guys have access to tweak the make a call. If you have particular, I guess you could call them scripts, or if there's particular things like bullet points that you want to cover on these calls, if you're creating a custom smart plan, feel free to plug those in as well. This is a great way to just kind of track that information, and it avoids you from having to have Post-its everywhere. So it just kind of allows you to put everything together. So as you're adding your clients to these smart plans, it will prompt you right in the task of what your intentions were and what you want to be covering. SMS, same thing, big scary message. If you guys are planning on setting that up, again, subscribe right in the marketplace and that message will go away, and then it will allow you to set up those text messages. Scrolling down more, add to smart plan. Again, this is pretty cool. You guys do have a drop-down list available for any smart plan that you guys have live. Smart plans looks like it might be having a little bit of an issue right now because you definitely should not have more than one monthly neighborhood nurture. If you guys are seeing that as well, don't panic. I'm going to go ahead and delete the other ones in a second, and I'll show you guys how to do it just in case that happened to you as well. Then we have our 7-day delay, make a call again, SMS, scrolling down a little bit more, create a task, same thing. And then it has end of smart plan. So when it comes to these smart plans, you can always add in additional options. So you can always add in another created task. Maybe you want to end with another one, make a call, send an email, SMS. You guys can set an additional delay, add to smart plan, restart smart plan. If you're restarting a smart plan, keep in mind, it does exactly that. It's just going to restart the original smart plan. The smart plans that are on loops, you don't have to worry about. So like monthly and biweekly neighborhood nurture, those are both on loops. So you don't have to worry about restarting them. It will automatically happen. Essentially biweekly or monthly, it is going to email the clients that you add to that smart plan, the neighborhoods, as well as the stats and active listings within that area. So you don't have to stress about those. But as far as the rest of them, you guys can tweak these however you see fit. When it comes to sending an email, I'm going to drop this in just to show you guys what it looks like, because you do have a couple of options. When it comes to sending an email, if you're looking to do a drip campaign that pertains to an email, first, make sure this reply to email looks correct. This should match your command mail email. If it doesn't, let us know and we can always refresh it for you. Subject, this is the subject of the email that you're going to be sending out. Then we have simple and designs. Simple is exactly that. It's a very simplistic email that is going to be just text. If you are looking to send out a schwanky, like pictures, images, videos, whatever type of email, this is something you would need to manually create as an email design template. We have a tip video and an entire class that covers that, just in case you guys need it. But if that is something you're looking to use within SmartPlans, that's when we would click our designs button. That's going to allow us to go ahead and actually select a design that we've previously created. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to show you guys. I don't think I have any created, but it will at least show you guys what it will look like. But if I go ahead and click on this, this is going to allow me, oh, we do have one. This is going to allow me to select a design that maybe I created previously, or I can go jump right into KWRI provided templates if you guys have not had a chance to create one. These are fantastic. If you have not dabbled with these yet, I definitely recommend taking a look. There are tip videos in the notes as well. So again, if you guys are watching the recording or if you're in the live class, they're in the notes that I posted in the beginning of class. That go over just how to create these. They are beautiful options that you guys can customize to kind of fit your brand. You guys can change the color schemes. You can make sure that information is added. If you're looking to send out a video or content or maybe specs or just listing, whatever you guys have, this is a beautiful way to get this out to your clients very simplistically, because you're going to be able to kind of drop them on this smart plan and then never look back. The system takes care of the rest. But in regards to these, definitely take a look if you haven't already. These are the particular smart plans or particular email designs. Sorry about that. These are the particular email designs that are going to pull that email signature / footer from your marketing profile. So by setting up that marketing profile like we did today, when you guys come in here, the footer looks very wonky when you're setting it up. Don't panic. It doesn't plug your information in until it is a live email. So when you guys look at the preview, it just kind of says like agent name, agent phone number, agent logo. Looks very funny. When it actually comes time to send that preview email, that's when it's going to show you exactly what it looks like. But by adding yourself to the live smart plan, that's just going to reconfirm exactly how it's going to go out. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and click back to smart plans. Anytime you guys do make edits to these particular sections, make sure that you are clicking on the checkbox that has, I'm gonna X out of that one because we didn't select anything. Make sure that you are clicking on the checkbox or the check mark that pertains to that section. You'll get your green ribbon letting you know that it's saved, and then you are good to go. Once you have gone through and done any edits, you'll want to make sure that you click on save in the top right-hand corner. And then that's going to give you a final green ribbon that lets you know everything has been saved. That's kind of your thumbs up that you can go back to the edit smart plan section. So I'm going to go ahead and click back to here. And then last but not least, we always go over on this because this is so much information. I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and just delete my duplicates by clicking on the delete button for these. It looks like I had it added 4 times somehow. I'll delete that one. If you guys had the same issue, I apologize. It looks like it may have glitched when I clicked add. So you guys should only have one monthly neighborhood nurture. And then I also have the biweekly neighborhood nurture, which I'm going to show you guys how to set both of these up right now. If you guys are interested in sending out listing information / neighborhood information to your clients, this is the easiest way to do it. And it's also going to automatically update itself right from the MLS based on current statistics. It does all of that work for you, and the emails are beautiful. So in order to get those kind of set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my contact section of command, which is our second icon down. And I already have a test contact set up. If you haven't created a test contact in your command database, I highly recommend it. Make sure you're not using the email that you have set up on your marketing, or for command mail, use a personal email. Or if you have a spouse, you want to set it up with them, that's completely fine. But set somebody up that you can kind of use as like your test subject. That way you can go ahead and start adding them to some of these marketing platforms, whether it's an email campaign, a smart plan, anything like that. Just gives you a way to kind of make sure that everything's showing up correctly. So if you haven't created a test contact, definitely recommend adding yourself in here. Again, just make sure the email address is a personal one and not something you're using for business. Otherwise, the system gets confused and you won't actually get the test emails. I'm going to go ahead and open my test contact profile. So again, if you guys have one, you can just open it up. And I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like. So for this test contact, I had a ton of neighborhoods in here earlier. I deleted them. That way I could show you guys what this will look like. I also already sent out the biweekly neighborhood smart plan earlier today. So I want to show you guys what that looks like. I'm going to pull it up as a preview. But as far as neighborhoods go, pretty straightforward. When you pull up a contact profile, you're going to see the neighborhood section right here. It may look a little less. You may not have the map showing up if you don't currently have neighborhoods selected, but you should have add neighborhood. In order to add neighborhoods, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can go ahead and click on add neighborhood and start searching based on the drop-down list, or you can go ahead and click on find on map. If you're not 100% familiar with all of the neighborhood names, find on map is going to make it a little bit easier because it literally allows you to select the neighborhoods right on the map. So kind of like if you know the big area, you can go ahead and start narrowing it down from there. So again, if you don't know the exact names, definitely click on find map because it's just going to make it a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. And then all I'm going to do is type in a location. You don't even have to type in a neighborhood. If you know that your client is looking in a particular city and state, that's perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in Sarasota. Where I am. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select the first option. And it's just going to kind of get me a little bit closer to where I want to be. So if my client is, say, looking in Sarasota, I can use my little plus and minus signs to zoom in and zoom out. I can drag my map to get to a different location. And as I start to zoom in, you're going to notice that the neighborhoods become more apparent. So they actually start to show up. This is pretty cool. So now in order to go ahead and actually add neighborhoods to my client's profile, all I'm going to do is click. And you'll see that little check mark applies. It adds it down here. It's letting me know that that neighborhood is now essentially going to be added to the profile once I click save. I can do multiple. I can come in here and say, okay, I know they wanted to be by the water. They wanted to be by this particular area. I can select all of these neighborhoods pertaining to this particular area for them, and I'm good to go. Once I click save, it drops them into that contact profile. It updates my timeline to let me know that I've subscribed them. I can also open these up and click on them and kind of see what that preview will be. Pretty cool. Gives me all of that information. But as far as the neighborhoods go, as long as they have neighborhoods showing here, they qualify for the monthly Neighborhood Nurture Smart Plan and the bi-weekly Neighborhood Nurture Smart Plan. If they don't have neighborhoods populating here, they do need to be added before you add them to that smart plan. So that is something to keep in mind. If you have a physical street address on file, it should trigger a neighborhood as long as neighborhood statistics are available for that location. If it's a brand new build, it may not trigger a neighborhood. Don't panic. It's just because there are no statistics available for that platform yet, and it's not being seen as a neighborhood yet. You can still manually add neighborhoods. You can always manually add neighborhoods. I also personally recommend adding at least 3, if not 4, because what will happen is if you try to set them up on the smart plan and you only have one neighborhood that has minimal listings, minimal stats, if there's nothing available that the system essentially recognizes, it will remove them from that smart plan. By adding 3 or 4 neighborhoods, the chances of all 3 or 4 of those neighborhoods not having anything, very slim. So it's going to allow you to kind of get that smart plan out. Even if it's minimal information, it's going to allow your clients to kind of maximize on that, which I'm going to show you guys what that looks like as well. So once we have these added, you can go ahead and either click on preview or copy link. Preview is exactly that. Some of the links are not going to be clickable because it is a preview. So I'm going to go ahead and do copy link. And I'm going to paste it into a new tab just to show you guys what it looks like, because this is what would essentially be sent to your clients. So this is going to be the clickable link that your clients will have access to. And I actually have the exact screenshot of what came out to me earlier. I set myself up on a smart plan under Lori's account. This is exactly what the email looks like. I had it sent to my email. This is what the email looks like when it comes from her. So it's her KWUID at mailer.kw.com. This is not something we can edit. So this is something to keep in mind. When you're sending out smart plans, it is always, always, always going to come from agent, then your KWID at mailer.kw.com. If I were to reply to this email, it's going to go to whatever inbox Lori has set up as her command mail email. So that's where that reply email comes into play. That's something to keep in mind. But when it comes to the actual email itself, you'll notice automatically has all of her information. This all pulls from the marketing profile, so nothing further is needed. Really cool. We have all of the neighborhoods that I originally had set up, and I can kind of just see like quick specs, gives me some information, a map, any information in here. I had a lot of random areas selected originally. Show more. And then I also have the footer that gets automatically constructed, again, based on the marketing profile, which looks beautiful. This is where that team logo shows up. If you don't have a team logo, it says no image found, which is not as aesthetically pleasing, which is why I recommend putting something in there, whether it's the realtor logo, anything along those lines. Go ahead and plug something in there, and that will just kind of allow you guys to bypass that error message. You'll also notice that the legal footer automatically populates, and then there is an unsubscribe option all the way down at the bottom. But this is exactly what the monthly and biweekly Neighborhood Nurture looks like. It gives them access to download your app. Again, pretty cool. But they have access to see all of the neighborhoods that you have them set up on. The second they click either Explore Neighborhood or See More, it's going to bring them, pull that up, it opens up on another screen. It brings them to the same URL that we have up on that other screen. So it allows them to see all of their options. The platform is branded with your information. It sees all of the neighborhoods. They have access to add additional neighborhoods. They have access to view all of the listings. They can go through all of this information. They can also go ahead and click on neighborhood stats on the top right-hand corner, which will allow them to pull up exactly that. And then they can still do the exact same thing and go through all of these neighborhoods. It pulls up average home price, square foot, days on market, current stats, sold stats. They have access to the actual map so they can see what types of things are in the area. They can search for places, nearby schools. This is really cool as well. Everyone has used Google search, whether you're looking for a Target, a pizza place, anything along those lines. They can actually see what is it in that vicinity. So if there's something specific that is very important to them, they can go ahead and be like, okay, I really want to be close to a grocery store. I want to make sure I'm within walking distance of a gym, whatever it may be. They can actually pull all of this up and see that right on this map. They also have access for additional homes that might be just near that area, as well as their open houses, which is pretty cool. They're all hyperlinked right on the listing. And then scrolling down more, it has additional neighborhoods that they're not currently subscribed to, but the system thinks they might enjoy. This is so cool. This is so much information. And all you had to do was add a couple of neighborhoods to a contact profile and add this person to that smart plan. And the system takes care of the rest for you. So this is something to keep in mind. Again, it will be branded with all of your information, beautifully with your contact information, your email address. They can submit something over to you if they'd like, but it has all of your stuff already populating and you are good to go. So that, again, that's just something to kind of keep in mind. X out of this. that over. So this is the preview one that you guys would have set up. Definitely recommend taking a look at it. When it comes time to actually add your contacts and to the Smart Plan, you can do it a couple different ways. We can do it based on the Smart Plans tab of the individual contact itself. If you're looking to do it more on a manual case-by-case basis, you would essentially click on Smart Plans. Then you have your Add to Smart Plan button, which will allow you to select whatever Smart Plan you want to add them to just by selecting it. So if I wanted to do, say, my 8x8, I would just select it, add to plan anyway, and then I have access to either start it now or I can start it on a specific date. So maybe I don't want to start it until the 5th, or I don't want to start it until the 31st, or I don't want to start it until September. I can go ahead and update that manually, which is pretty cool. But this is how you guys can do that on a one-by-one, case-by-case basis. Exit out of that one. If you are not looking to manually add all of your contacts to Smart Plans and you want to do it more in a bulk action, that is also a possibility. We're going to go ahead and click back on our contacts, or you can just refresh your contacts tab, same thing. It's going to dump us right on our contacts in our database platform. We have access to bulk add people. So you guys can actually set a filter, pull based on tags, pull based on lead source, pull based on whatever information you guys are looking to bulk add these people to the Smart Plan by. Generally, I recommend organizing based on tag just because it's the easiest way to filter. So if you guys have maybe buyers you're looking to add to the neighborhood Smart Plan, or listing, or whatever tag you guys are using, you can go ahead and bulk select that tag, apply that filter. And once those contacts populate, you can have it show up to 500 a time, which is a lot of contacts. This is going to make things so much quicker for you. And then you can go ahead and bulk select by selecting that little checkbox. Now you have your bulk action. That will populate once you have selected at least one contact. Your bulk action is going to show up. Once I click on that drop down, you guys are going to see Add to Smart Plan. Again, exact same thing. I can go ahead and select either my monthly, my 8x8, any of these platforms. I'm going to do my weekly, bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. Oh, they don't have neighborhoods, so it's actually prompting me. We'll do my app. Oh, they don't have phone numbers. These are all my contacts that I added for her. I'll do add to plan anyway. It's letting you know that they don't qualify for the plan because they're missing a phone number. Essentially, if it's going to be texting, it's letting you know that they don't have a phone number on file, so they won't get that text message. Just another way for you guys to make sure that it has information before bulk adding them, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and just do add to plan anyway, just to show you guys what this looks like. But you'll notice here, I again have start now. It's going to start immediately. In regards to starting immediately, that is a little bit of a gray area. It means that it's going to add them immediately. Emails will go out generally within 5 to 7 minutes. Text messages will only go out between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you happen to bulk add contacts to a Smart Plan that starts with a text message and you do it at midnight, you do it at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., anytime outside of 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Central, the plan will automatically wait until the next day. So you're not accidentally texting a client at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's to protect you from that accidentally happening. So that being said, when it comes time for that, just keep that in mind. But when you do click start now, if it starts with an email, that will go out immediately. You also have start on the following date, which I had showed you guys previously. If you select that, I can bulk set this up so they all go out, say, on June 25th, which is also pretty cool. This is great for holiday Smart Plans. If you guys are trying to set up Christmas ones, or Thanksgiving or spring or back to school or whatever it may be, Memorial Day, Labor Day, if you guys have Smart Plans you're trying to set up for those, pretty cool. You guys can start it based on a date trigger. And then this one is going to be stagger over the next few days. If you have a Smart Plan that is going to require you to do manual personal follow-up, make sure you are staggering them. What this means is if you have 500 contacts, you're adding to, say, the quarterly call plan, you don't want to have 500 tasks on the same day to call people. By staggering them, what it will do is it's going to allow you to do max per day. So if I select that, I can do max per day. I only want to call 6 people per day. sorry, it's going to allow you to only select 6 people per day, meaning it's only going to trigger you to call 6 people a day. And it's going to push this plan out. So maybe like the first 6 people will be day 1, second 6 people, day 2, third 6 people, day 3. It will automatically stagger them for you. So you're not stuck calling those 500 people all on the same day every quarter, which definitely helps out. So when it comes to smart plans that require you to do manually reaching out or manual tasks, whether it's calling, whether it's, sending a personalized text message, anything along those lines, definitely stagger those. Keep that in mind. Once you guys want to add them, you would just click on confirm and it will add them to it based on whichever selection you guys chose. And then it will add them to that smart plan. And then they will also show up not only under the smart plans tab where that eyeball was, but you'll also be able to see it right from within their contact profile, which is pretty cool. So you guys have access to view both of those. When it comes time to remove someone from a smart plan, I'm gonna go back to smart plans just to show you guys really quickly. Hopefully it loads for us. We did a new tab last time and it worked much quicker. But once we get back into our smart plans, you guys do have options to either bulk remove contacts from a smart plan, which is pretty cool, or you have access to do it manually. So if you guys do have like a big mass of people that are on a smart plan, if you select that smart plan and you click the eyeball, it's going to show you who's currently on it. So I can manually unsubscribe, or I can do unsubscribe all, which will automatically remove everybody, no matter whether they're selected or not, which is pretty cool. So that's something to keep in mind. If you guys come in here later, you start dabbling around, you get stuck, you have questions, something doesn't look the same as my screen, or if you just don't have access to something, definitely let us know and we can always take a look for you. I hope you guys got something out of today's class. But as always, if you guys need anything, let us know. support@scottleroymarketing.com is our support email, and that will go to our support team where they can answer questions for you as soon as possible. Again, that is support@scottleroymarketing.com. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day.